Hey guys, I've never posted a video before on YouTube, mostly because I feel like I sound like a chipmunk when I talk and I'm recorded, but I just wanted to share this really quickly. It's something that took me a couple of days of on and off experimenting to figure out, drove me crazy, and now that I figured it out, first of all, I need to document it for my manager, but I also just wanted to put this out there in case someone else is having the same problem. I have a little app that I've designed here using Kendo's AppBuilder. It uses, if you know anything about AppBuilder, PhoneGap or Cordova in the background. And it works really well. This is an S3 that I have. And I'll just show you a little bit about how it's supposed to look. You know, it's a fairly standard thing. You can go to the settings page and click through things. If you want to go then, it's a timekeeping app and a work log app. So if I wanted to click on this, it will take me to a page that shows the time entries that I've created. This little icon in the blue means that it's actually been submitted to the server. And so I can click on this and I can go look at time entries. And I can go edit them, add jobs, things like that. Sorry, I'm not very good doing this with one hand. In any case, it was working well. We'd installed it on several devices, and then we went and installed it on my manager's Galaxy S5 and his S6. He has both. This is an S5 that we got for testing purposes. And so when I go to the settings page here, sorry, I can't get my thumb all the way over there to click. You notice that it looks a little bit different. We don't have the orange header at the top. The black bars there don't go all the way to the edges. You're only looking at the other one for a minute, so it may be hard to see, but also these little icons over here are significantly smaller. It does still seem to work for the most part. However, the problem is in some of the, for example, the modal window, if I click on this icon right here, once again, I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time clicking with my thumb and only one hand. There we go. So we have the modal window pop up. This is a window that allows you to either authenticate or de-authenticate, and you can see that there's something wrong with it. You can't see the text very well. You can see the stuff in the background there. The reason for that is certain styles have not been applied. Styles that are in the style sheet that are valid, for whatever reason, they are not actually appearing here. This is something that, like I said, was driving me crazy. And I was looking into it. Those of you who have done PhoneGap development or have used Kendo's AppBuilder, this is just a debug window that I've done. You can actually go to Chrome and you can connect your devices. Go to Chrome://inspect. It'll give you a list of all your devices that have a WebView running inside of them. And then if you click on inspect, it will take you to this view where you can see what's going on. I've selected this particular debug window that you're looking at is actually for the version of the application that's working correctly. So I'll go back to the settings page. It's for this page right here. And what you'll notice is I've selected, and I apologize, I know this is probably hard to read. This is my settings view. If you look at the div that it's underneath, you can see that this is the settings view. And I've selected the, actually no, that's not the settings view. Let me go look. Let me switch that. There we go. There's the settings view. And I'm doing this so that you can kind of see, because I'm going to do the same thing on the version that's not working in a minute. Okay, so this is in the settings view. This is the header that I've selected. And I've selected the nav bar. If you go, this will be familiar to anyone who's done debugging of web views before or web pages, but you can see that on my device it's selected that settings nav bar, and that's the one that is orange on this page, but then not orange on the version that's not working. So if I go back to this one, you can see that it's not the right color, and also that hamburger icon is not big enough and it's not in the right place. So if you look over here to the actual styles, you can see, I'll move my mouse over here, you can see, for example, where I've got the gradient defined, I've got the background color and then the linear gradient defined here. And the reason that these are all appearing, it has to do with the way style sheets work. Those of you who do web development will be familiar with this, but we're starting out with a class called KM Android, and then it's got an element below it with a class of KM Navbar. Same thing here, Android Navbar, Android Navbar. That's very basic style sheet 101 really. And what I didn't understand is if we go look at the exact same thing over on this one. Now this is the inspector window that maps to the version of the application that is not working correctly. So if we come over here, same place, I'm in the settings view, and then I'm in the header, and I've selected the div that's the nav bar. And if I come over here and look at the styles, you can see that I don't have any KM Android styles defined. This is something, I figured this out almost immediately, that was the problem, but what I couldn't figure out is why it was happening or what was causing it. So once again, if you go back over here, you'll see a whole extra set of styles that are applied to this particular element that are not applied to the version that's not working. You can see that really quickly by just noticing that we've got these little orange color indicators right here that we don't have on this side. And that is why none of the colors are appearing in the version that's not working, and it's also why a lot of the icons are too small. Just a bunch of different styles that haven't been applied. Now, at first we thought maybe it had something to do with the version of Android that we were running, but I installed it on some devices that had 5.1.1 installed, and it worked, and other devices with 5.1.1 installed that don't. Same with 5.0. I eventually concluded it was probably something to do with the WebView engine, and the WebView engine was rendering it one way in one version and another way in another. Now, one of the ways to solve that apparently is with a plugin called Crosswalk that allows, it basically forces any device that is running, I think, 4.0 and above to always use the Chrome engine, so it'll always use the same WebView engine. However, I wasn't able to use that. I tried to, there's a plugin for it on Kendo's AppBuilder, but it seemed to have some sort of incompatibility with SQLite. And I'm using SQLite on this particular application because all the time entries that you see are actually stored locally because often our clients, users don't have an access to the internet. They don't have a data connection. So it'll store everything locally, and then when they have access, they can submit it to the server. So that incompatibility made it so that I could not install the Crosswalk plugin and have it just standardize my my WebView engines. So I did a little bit more investigation, and this is really what I wanted to show you because this is how you fix the problem. And maybe this isn't a long-term fix, I don't know. But what we ended up doing was going to the Play Store. And once again, I apologize, I'm not very good at using this with just one hand, especially my left hand. So let's go look at the Play Store. There it is. Now there's an app. This is an app that every Android user has. It is not, however, one it's not a typical app. It's actually a component that works in the background. So I'll show you on the S3. I'll go to the Play Store here too if I can find it. And what you need to do is go to the Play Store and type in System WebView. And for those of you who are wondering, this System WebView is actually a little app that runs in the background, and it allows you to embed it allows you, you know what? I'm showing you this right here, and I don't know that this exists in the same way. This is running KitKat 4.4. But what I did to search for System WebView is what you'll do on a Lollipop version of Android. So this WebView allows you to embed web views in, a web page in an app. And obviously, if you're running PhoneGap, that's what you're doing. You're actually just embedding your entire app is a little web view that runs inside the app. Now, what is weird about this is if you look at the current version of it, for example, if I come down here and I look at permission details, you'll see that it's running Android System WebView 44.0.2403.117. That's important because what I'm going to do is not going to change the version number, but it will fix my problem. So, but you see here that I have an option for uninstall. So I'm going to do that. And now, I did not, since last night, do a lot of investigations as to what I'm uninstalling. I don't know what improvements were made here in this most recent version. All I know is that it did break my PhoneGap application styles because, as I said, in this newer WebView, my PhoneGap application does apparently not get the message that it should apply KM-Android to everything. So I'm going to click on uninstall here. It's going to ask if I want to uninstall the updates to this system app. I'm going to say yes. And it's going to uninstall it. Now, you see that it didn't actually uninstall it. This is a system application, and it cannot be uninstalled. However, you can uninstall, obviously, the updates that have been made to it. So I'm going to go back down here. I'm going to do the same thing, permission details, and you can see the number hasn't changed. It's still 44.0.2403.117. However, I now do have this option to update it. So if I come back here and I go back to my application, Homefront Time Entry, I'll let it load here. And I'm going to click on this. There you see. Now it looks like my other version of the application. They look exactly the same. And let me bring this back up over here so you can see the two together. I apologize for the glare. So now you see that they look exactly the same. They work exactly the same. If I want to launch a little modal window here, this is a part of the user authentication where it will allow the application to forget me. That works just fine. If I, for example, want to look at, this is just a list of my jobs, and I can select which one of all the jobs. I only have 2, but if I had a list of 50 or 60, I could select which ones apply to me most often. So it's working just fine now. Now, just to show you what I mean, let's go back and do the same thing again. So let's go back to the Play Store, and I'm going to do this now. I'm going to click Update, and it's going to update the System WebView to the newest version. Once again, I go do your own research before you do this. I don't know how much they did to this update. I don't know what it does, and I don't know if it's got any security fixes in place. But if you're having this problem with a PhoneGap application, you cannot figure out why some of your styles are not working. I hope that this saves you some time and you don't spend as much time screwing around as I did. Anyway, so it's done now. You see, once again, now I have the option to uninstall. If I go back down here, the actual version number has not changed. But now, if I go back to my application, and it's going to restart it because I reinstalled the WebView. Once again, we'll let it start here. This page looks the same. Obviously, I click on settings and I get the broken version again. So, I mean, I'll have to keep checking and reinstalling this. Hopefully, whatever was done will get fixed so that it does not cause this problem in the future. And with any luck, eventually that crosswalk plugin will be to the point where it's not going to have incompatibilities with some other plugins. But in the meantime, if this is a problem that you've experienced, then I hope this saves you some time and headaches, so you don't have to keep investigating it the way I did. Thanks.